Welcome to the Think to Freedom podcast, where we inspire individuals to use their minds to achieve greatness. We sit down with other entrepreneurs and professionals to give insight on business and personal development. This podcast is sponsored by Red Barn Cajun Crawfish. Red Barn is home to the best tasting seafood, specializing in crawfish, shrimp, and crab. Feel free to visit us online at www.redbarncajun.crawfish.com. Red Barn, we season the meat you eat, not the shells you throw at your feet. Yes! Now here's your host, y'all heard? Darius Spells.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Yours truly, Darius Spells, here for the Think to Freedom podcast season 2. That's what we doing. You know, I did kick off this particular podcast. I started in a little bit of 2020. But, you know, I fell by the wayside. I'm going to keep it all the way 100. You know, we're going to keep it real. So, shout out to my OG, Uncle T. He lit a fire under me. Was like, bro, you sleeping on yourself, man. You gotta jump out here. And if you really going to do it, you can really build the brand if you go ahead and start your podcast, man. You know a lot of people. And I was like, you right, OG, because, man, it's a lot going into the podcasting game. And I got a story to tell, and I know a lot of people whose stories will help other individuals out there in the world, whoever, and whatever they want to do in life in general. But for everybody who do not know me, my name is Darius Spells, owner of the Red Barn Cajun Crawfish and Seafood here in Shreveport, Louisiana, 7110 Pines Road. Some of you all know me by DJ Breeze, too. You know, I'm kind of a jack of all trades, vice chairman of the African American Chamber of Commerce in Shreveport. We just out here doing what we do. But today, I'm going to get a game up. I'm going to give you the tools you need to be able to start a wholesale seafood business. I'm going to tell you how you can make some money in selling wholesale seafood. So right now, make sure you grab a pen, grab a pad, and make sure you watch this video all the way through. Then you come back, watch it again, and execute. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we dropping episodes each and every week with some of your favorite entrepreneurs, business people, and just people that you know you'll maybe find interesting. But all right, so today we're gonna talk about how to start a seafood wholesale business. All right, so the first thing you need to do, write this down. The first thing you need to do is come up with a name. You come up with a name for your particular business, whatever you want to call it, Joe Blow Seafood and More, whatever you want to call it. Get your name. Find your LLC. Reserve your name. Get your articles. Get your EIN. This is all basic information. I'm not going to tell y'all where to go get it. You're supposed to already know. But if you do not know, use google.com. And there's plenty of other YouTube videos that'll tell you guys how to get your particular LLC in your particular state. All right, so then after you get all the paperwork, get your bank accounts and doing all that good stuff, what you need to do is file with the seafood wholesale companies that's in your particular state. In Louisiana, you call the state agriculture, and you get your seafood dealer's license. It's called a dealer's license. I think in Shreveport, in Louisiana, it's about $30. Don't quote me on that, but it's around $30 to $50. You get your particular seafood dealer's license. That way you can go and travel with up and down the highways with your particular seafood item. It's really that easy. And then also, you have to get a transport license, because that's when you have to go pick it up and bring it back. That's transportation. To get the actual dealer's license, let me go back. It's actually $300 or $250, one of the two. But that's what you need, because you need to be legal in selling wholesale seafood. Because if you have not heard about I'm going to tell you about these people. You do not want these people in your life. That is the wildlife, whatever they call them, the wildlife policeman. They the one they'll come shut your whole operation down if you do not have your particular licenses in check. You do not want to deal with the wildlife people. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. All right, so once you get your dealer license, that's the easy part. That's literally having your paperwork together, having the money to pay for it, and just going about your business. But I'm going to give you the game on how to do this. Now, you have different people that you can deal with. You can do it with a middleman, or you can go direct. I choose to go direct in each and every item that I particularly choose to sell because, one, it's a better price. And you can choose and see what type of quality you're getting, because most times when you go through a middleman, you don't know what kind of quality you're getting. But let's run it. When I first started selling crawfish live, I was selling crawfish out of the back of a U-Haul truck. I used to travel up and down I-49, and this particular time I was using a middleman. So since I was using the middleman, sometimes the quality was good, sometimes the quality was bad. And long story short, the particular middleman that I was using dropped the ball and left me out stuck to drop because he was my only supplier. And in this game, you need to have multiple people who you deal with in the seafood industry, particularly because somebody catch may be down. Somebody might not have enough. You need to be able to always fulfill your particular orders in dealing with seafood. So, back on it, you can deal with a middleman or you can go direct. In these particular instances, you got to have your network together. It's all about being able to know who you know. You got to know the right people. If you do not know the right people, it's going to be hard for you in this seafood industry. So, choose whether you want to have a middleman or you go direct. I choose to go direct. But in going direct, you're responsible on getting to the particular farms, getting your own particular product, or you can get it shipped to you as well. It just all depends on different types, whatever deal that you cut, and your prices on what you're charged to get the food delivered or whatnot. I do both every now and then. It just depends on what's going on in my particular operation. But you can do either or. All right, so the name of the game is, depending on what item you're selling, we're going to talk about crawfish. I sell crawfish, and I sell shrimp too. So people gonna like, boy, you crazy about telling everybody how to sell the same thing that you sell. But just because I tell you how to sell it, you still got to go out there and sell it yourself. I just want to be the blessing and give you the game on how to do it. But what you do is you find the item that you want to sell. You find out what's the price. Then whenever you find out what the price is, you add in your travel, your gas, maintenance on vehicles, your time, and doing it all this, and factor in your price. Key gem, you don't have to be the cheapest in the market to sell. I'm going to say this again. You do not have to be the cheapest in the market to sell, because people want quality. Just because you got the cheaper prices, your quality may be bad. But if you got that sweet blue magic like Denzel did in American Gangster, the best product for the best prices, it's a win-win situation. You can't lose in that situation. So it's a lot of money into the seafood industry and being a wholesale, but you have to, it's all about volume in this particular game. It's not about having 10 or 20 sacks of crawfish and selling. Yeah, you making money, but the name of the game is to move volume in product. Anything in wholesaling, well, you're doing crawfish, fish, T-shirts, whatever you're selling, that's wholesale. How? It's not about the one or two sales. It's the hundreds to the thousands of sales which get you to make the particular profit that you're looking for into making in your particular business. Now, it's going to be a lot of people There's a lot of people that's going to even try to do what you're trying to do. And the way that you set yourself apart is by marketing. You have to market your company. You have to be innovative. Yes, you gotta run ads. Still put out push cards. You gotta talk to people. You gotta network. You gotta go the extra mile and do whatever you need to do to be able to have your business number one. Because in all honesty, I learned this from a mentor. You strive to be number one in your field. You can get by with number two, but nobody remembers anything else. Anything below number two, it's gonna be rough on you, and the odds of you failing in business is pretty high. So you aim to be number one. It don't matter if it's been old players in the game before you, years before. Because when I started my particular business, people around me been in this particular industry of crawfish 20 plus years. So I had to make my mark in the market by marketing, by being in the people face, going to where everybody else wasn't going in, and being able to adapt and push the culture forward. You have to be able to jump out there and not be afraid to stand out and stand alone. That's a key. Make sure you be able to stand out and be able to stand alone and build a solid foundation in your business. I know it sounds simple, but the simple things will get you past the starting mark. It'll get you to being around 5 to 10 years in business. And you got to stay level-headed. You have to plan it out. You got to have some particular type of income. People ask how much it costs to start a wholesale business. You don't need much money at all, because sometimes I'm going to give you another gem. Depending on your relationships with your suppliers, sometimes your suppliers will front you if you proven yourself worthy on being able to move product. Now, when you first meet someone, that's not going to happen. You're going to have some type of income, some type of money, because you're going to have to pay for your particular product. But if you start moving numbers and start moving a lot of volume, sometimes your particular supplier will look into, they may give it to you, and then you just pay when you come pick up again. But that's all based off of relationships. Everything is based off relationships. Anything in business is relationship. Your relationship with people will get you far, because you need other people to succeed. No one has ever did anything successful by themselves. They built some type of team, some type of network to get to where they are and being something and building something successful. Now let's go back over what we talked about in forming a wholesale seafood business and selling wholesale seafood. You grab your licenses, get your name, EIN number, LLC, bank account, the whole shebang. You get that. Then once you get that, then you have to market to your particular clientele. You got to decide whether you're going to go to the general public or you're going to go business to business. I suggest you do both. You need to have some type of corporate clients, and you need to sell to the general public. The corporate clients will help you move a lot of volume at a consistent pace, especially if they sell your particular product on a menu and they need it all the time. General public, you sell a lot with the general public too, but it's hit and miss. It's on special weekends, special times. It's not all the time. So you need both. So you need to do business to business, and you need to do to the general public. That's another key. Depending on what you're selling, the markup always need to be at least 30 to 40%. At least. And now with inflation going up, everything is even much more than it was at this particular time last year. You got to add your price on it. Because if you try to cut all the deals, trying to get all the customers by cutting your prices, or you over here having a price war with your competition down the road, you gonna you're going to cheap your way out of business. Yeah, that's not the way you need to operate. That's not the way you need to be. Put your price on it. And make sure you keep good quality products. And if you're shipping products, you picking them up from your particular docks or your particular farms or particular boats, make sure you transport it right. Ice chests, cooler vans, cooler trucks. I can go all the way deep in depth in it, but you leave some questions in the comments and I'll make sure I answer them for you guys if you want to go into direct detail on what particular vehicle that you can use, how to transport seafood on a budget, because I've done it all. In the vans, ice chests, the back of pickup trucks, back of vans, U-Haul vans. I done did the whole thing. So when there's a will, there's a way. And if you do this right, you can turn a small amount of investing, a couple $1,000 into product and just being able to pick up and ship out and do whatever you need to do to make it into a 6-figure business. So if you want to get into something with a low overhead and you can make your way to making 6 figures, jump in the seafood wholesale game. Whether you sell crawfish, shrimp, fish, turtle, alligator, whatever you want to sell. If the people want it, you can get it. And that, my friends, is how you jump into the seafood wholesale game. Now, we can go into detail, but we'll do that in the mastermind. But if you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments. And I will go back and reply to each and every one of you guys. Don't forget, this episode here of the Think to Freedom podcast is sponsored by the Red Barn, Cajun, Crawfish, and Seafood, located 7110 Pines Road, Shreveport, Louisiana, where we season the meat you eat, not the shells you throw at your feet. This is the Think to Freedom podcast, hosted by yours truly, Darius Spells. Until next time, I see y'all. You dig me? Shout out to Music Master. They behind the boards, working up this magic. And I see y'all next week. I holla.